I just wanted to learn more about your pregnancy journey. I just feel like, well, we're at that age. You got some time maybe. The pregnancy is something that I think about often, and so I've just always wondered what that journey was like.
It was rough. It was rough. Right now, and I don't really like that I say this a lot, but right now, if I could choose to have more kids right now, I wouldn't. And that was just because my pregnancy was so rough. It was so rough. I found out I was pregnant when I was 6 weeks. And I think from like maybe the time you're 6 months on down, you got to see a doctor like every week. No, I seen like 2 or 3 doctors every week from the time I was diagnosed. I mean, they were sending me home with like empty buckets to like pee in over the weekend. Like, yeah, we got to check your protein out. Every time I went, something was wrong. I had to just stop working. Something was wrong, and then I'm admitted. I think I had to sign papers to get out of the hospital so I can come home for my baby shower, and then I left my baby shower to come back to the hospital. And I cried. I think I cried my whole pregnancy. I was low every day. I think my A1C was like a 4. And I was always the one with A1C that was like 9, 10. And they like, oh my God, you're a 4. It was rough. Like my whole pregnancy was rough. And they say diabetics have like 10 to 12 pound babies. So I was automatically set up for a C-section. My son came out 5 pounds, and I had him 2 months early. And it was just rough. It was really rough.
Now, did you have him early because of the complications, or with diabetes, or was it?
And honestly, I don't think I had him early because of the diabetes, but he did have some things going on with himself. When he came out, his blood sugar was actually 13, and I was like freaking out. They gave them to me, and they're like, hey, you want to feed them? So I'm feeding them, and then they come in like a second later and take him, and I didn't even know why he was gone until his dad was like, yeah, they said his blood sugar was like 13. Like, no one told me that until, he came down and told me. It was just rough. I mean, he's fine and healthy right now, but it was rough, and I wouldn't want to experience that again. I mean, maybe now, because I feel like I was 20 and I didn't really have as much control as I do right now. I feel like I am really good right now. Like, I have a lot of control over it. I didn't have an insulin pump in. It was like, if I forgot my insulin at home, then oh well type of attitude I had. I was still in that I don't really care phase. I do, but then I don't. So I feel like right now I'm a lot healthier. I feel good. I feel better. But it still comes down to, man, I was sick. I was really, really sick. And I would not want that. I just wouldn't want to go through that again. But I don't want to steer anyone away from having kids or anything like that, because I mean, it's a beautiful thing and all that, but I was sick. I was really sick.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to have to deal with.
I appreciate your transparency and vulnerability.
Thank you again, Angel, for telling your story and sharing that with us. I know I'm definitely looking forward to having kids, but it is a lot to think about. There's not only the health of your child, but also how you are affected as well. And another form of diabetes that people might not know about too is, I'm not sure the medical term, but it's pregnancy, when you're pregnant and you might have diabetes.
Gestational.
Yes. Can anybody talk a little bit more on that?
Well, obviously not me, but my mom and my aunt, when they were pregnant, they both had it. So let's say it's common.
Yeah, the closest I can talk on it is I had a girlfriend who had gestational diabetes when she was pregnant with one of her kids. But that's all I got for you.
Yeah, there was one of the ladies at my church, for both of her kids, she had gestational diabetes, which is very interesting to me, because I'm like, the fact that you can have it and then it just goes away, and then you can, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I think it has to do with like pregnancy hormones, which increase your resistance. And for some people, it causes them to go above like what would be considered a normal threshold and what is safe for the baby.
So also something that I noticed about a lot of you guys is your diabetes equipment. You guys are very open with taking pictures and showing off your different equipment. I am not at that stage yet, but maybe one day. I just recently took a picture with my Dexcom and posted that. But I know a lot of you guys are wearing pumps. You have Dexcoms, you have Omnipods, and there's so many different things out there now. I would love for you guys to talk a little bit more about the products that you're using, and just tell people, like, what are they for?
So I wear the Dexcom. I also wear T-Slim. I'm not on Omnipod anymore. And my pump, so what T-Slim is, it's a pump by Tandem, and it's an insulin pump. So I don't have to inject myself anytime I want to eat or drink or anything like that. It does the work for me. It also talks to the G6 Dexcom. So basically, I don't have to do too much. It does everything for me. I tell it what I'm, how many carbs I'm going to consume, and it does its thing. It makes life easy.
Yeah, that helps a lot when, you don't have to, when you don't have to like pull it out and, all that. But
For me, I'm just really on the pen. And also, I was doing I think this is the correct, I think it was Libra style. It was just like checking my blood sugars. The reason I haven't like went to the pump yet is because I'm just, kind of scared. But I'm definitely looking forward to like doing research and deciding which one I want to use. Yeah, that time will come.
You'll get there in due time.
And it isn't for everybody. There are so many people that are still on MDI, because it's just not for everybody. So, check them out, do a trial. If it's not for you, manage how you've been managing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm on an insulin pump. I'm using the Medtronic 670G system along with their continuous glucose monitor, the Guardian 3. And so, one of the reasons why I got it was because of the auto mode capacity. I don't want to mess up the technical name, but I think it's like the first hybrid loop closed system.
That's it.
I was like, oh, I'm an ambassador too. Let me make sure I get this right. You can edit that out. But yes, so the way that it works is that so if it senses that my blood sugar is going too high, or too low, it automatically increases or reduces the basal on its own when it's worn in auto mode. And then they have something called manual mode, which is very similar to like just utilizing a regular pump with specific basal rates. But then they still have certain features that you can turn on, such as like automatically suspend before low, or suspend on low, and it works in conjunction with whatever reading that the CGM is giving.
I use the Medtronic 670G as well as the continuous glucose monitor. And Medtronic is the only pump I have worn. My current endo isn't really a fan of Medtronic right now, though. So she wants me to look into other options. And the main reason I started using it is because I'm very, very sensitive to insulin. I'm very sensitive to carbs. I drop extremely fast, but I can also go high extremely fast. So even when I had like pump malfunctions and I had to switch over to an insulin pen or something, you can tell, and I'm like, okay, yeah, see why I'm using this now, because I was so scared to go to sleep because I was like dropping low, just really fast. And I was just telling Ina before we got on here, like I was so low last night. I just got back on my pump today actually. And I'm like, okay, I see why people go to bed with like juice boxes and stuff next to them. I usually don't have that problem, but jumping from my pump to back to a syringe was like, whoo. And I dropped tremendously last night, but I do love it. I'm not actually in auto mode right now. I'm just in manual mode, but it definitely warns me when I'm 200 or above, or if I'm extremely low, or if I'm like 70 or below, then it warns me and it'll stop. It'll suspend for like 2 hours and then it'll come back on when it, feels my sugar starting to go up. But I love it. Yeah, it's the bomb.
Yeah, I use the Dexcom, and I like it. It's I definitely when the transmitter runs out and you have to switch it, and if I don't like put it directly back on, I definitely missed having the notifications. So it's definitely a plus to have. Unfortunately, some insurances don't cover a lot of these products, and which hopefully will change soon, because it does change how you can manage your diabetes when you have the proper equipment. But one thing that I don't like about the Dexcom now are these notifications sometimes, because I know I would be at work and it's like, you can't have your phone too far away from you or else it's not going to read, and then you have to reconnect it and da, 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 da. And then it's like, also sometimes I'll start to go low and the thing would be like, ah, and it would sound like so crazy, and everybody around me would be like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, trust. It's okay. I'm going to eat something. It'll be fine. But then it's like 5 minutes later, it will go off again. And everybody's like, you know what? You need to just leave. Go ahead. Fix what you need to fix. So I'm like, trust me, I'm okay. I'm right. But they're helpful, but it is a little extreme. But I do have a question for all of you guys that with your equipment. One of my biggest questions, and I can't really find any information on, how do you shower with your equipment? Do you guys take them off? Do you, because with my Dexcom, I use like a little plastic, the medical plastic thing that I put on every day. But I'm like, this just seems like a lot to do. So what are some methods that you guys use to shower?
I don't do any of that. I just shower. I unhook my pump and I shower.
Really?
It's all waterproof. Well, Dexcom is
scared. I'm scared. Like,
so you're good. Like, take your shower, sis, in peace, and enjoy it. Enjoy it. Listen, you don't have to cover it up if you don't want to. If it makes you feel good, great. But you don't have to. I unplug my pump. I think we all do, because you can't wear yours either. We unhook and we shower.
Yeah. Yeah, I have these little clips that they come with. I don't use those half the time. I literally just, in the beginning, I was using them. My mom has like a really big swimming pool and I'm in it, and my son's like, Mom, there goes your pump over there. And I'm like, what? It was like floating away. It had came off. And after that, I started like, okay, I need some medical tape or something, because the shower is different. But getting in the pool, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've never been in a pool with my Dexcom, so
he was like,
or any
right there.
Enjoy it. Right. Enjoy it. I put some skin tack on before I put it on. I put that Dexcom on. I use the tape from Dexcom because it's free, and I don't think twice about that thing anymore.
How do you get free tape from Dexcom?
Girl, you can either call them and ask them to send you the tape, and it comes 10 in a pack. Or I want to say they changed it not too long ago. If you go online and they have like a field or something where you're like requesting to talk to somebody or something like that, and you just put in there like you want the tape, and they send it to you. It comes 10 in a packet. It's clear.
I did not know that. Good to know. Anybody else have any other advice for equipment, wearing your equipment?
Well, I did kind of. I wanted to ask Ari, since we use the same thing, does the tape that Medtronic gives you for your CGM, does it affect your skin? Because I feel like I see people who wear the same thing, and I feel like my skin is the only one that's like all splotchy and scabby looking and stuff, and it's either like the tape's breaking me out or it's the sites, or I don't know, but I feel like I have spots everywhere, and I mean, I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that can be annoying. I personally haven't had that issue. I know other people have had that issue, not necessarily with our pump and the site, but I know with like the Dexcom. And so I saw people talking about using Flonase. Have you heard of this? Okay, like using Flonase before you actually put the site on. And apparently it helps because some of that irritation is caused by like an allergic reaction.
Okay.
Flonase is your best friend. It's my best friend.
Really? Let me go on Amazon.
Right. The tips and tricks. Thank you, guys. Also, with going into with you wearing your equipment, you know, of course, we're all grown women here, and so I'm sure we've all been in different types of relationships. And so, what is advice, or what are some experiences that you have had with explaining your diabetes to a partner or to someone that you're dating? I know with my ex from a few years ago, I remember I just told him, because I'm like, look, I'm gonna have a bunch of needles in my purse, and I don't want you to, you know, if it falls out or something, I don't want you to think anything crazy. So look, I'm a type 1 diabetic, da da da. And I even tried to, you know, let him give me a shot, but he was too scared. He didn't want to hurt me. You know? But anybody else have like any experience or advice that you can give somebody else?
I think most of my relationships have started off as friendships. So it was just kind of like a natural part of the friendship where I'm sharing a part of myself. And so by the time we were in a relationship, it wasn't a surprise that I had diabetes. I'll say that Alfred and I, my husband, so we haven't really talked about this publicly, but there was a season where diabetes did have an impact on our relationship. And it was because my grandmother was transitioning. She was succumbing to complications of diabetes. And I, who was like the very optimistic person, was very anxious, very scared. I was like crying a lot. And I was expressing that to him, but he wasn't very receptive. And I think, honestly, to be frank, and he shared it with me, me expressing how I felt scared him, and it made him worry about what it meant to live or spend the rest of his life with a partner who had type 1 diabetes. So that was definitely kind of like a rough patch that we had to work through and navigate. But now he's great. Like, he helps me put my sensor on. And if I'm overwhelmed by diabetes or experiencing diabetes burnout and like want to cry, he just lets me cry and he holds me. So he's definitely more understanding, and he realizes that like it's not a death sentence, and no, I don't necessarily have to like live my life with complications or knock on wood. But yeah, so I think having a lot of conversations, like honest conversations, has helped like our relationship in terms of helping him be a better partner to me with diabetes.
Yeah, and that's a big plus, to have someone who understands. And it's like, one day might be a good day, next day might be a bad day. You never know. So yeah, that's good. And you and your husband are so cute.
Yeah, it was a journey.
In the future, like, or like now, I just like throw it out there. But I mean, I haven't really experienced like like having to like really go in depth about like it, you know. But I guess like I probably wouldn't I wouldn't be afraid like to talk about it or to have them like inject me. Like I would actually prefer like to show them like, here, let's get this over with, you know. And then yeah, so
you know, I think guys appreciate it when you include them and stuff like that. And for guys out there, you should know if a girl lets you give her a shot that she trusts you. And you better not mess up this relationship, okay?
Right.
That's a big step. That's a big step. So also, so we'll move on to Angel and Ina. Can you guys tell us a little bit about your film that you guys did? I could never inject myself. You know, just how I was trying to find where can I watch it.
So it was basically on GCUF, Greater Cleveland Urban Film Festival. It was like for like a week, and it was free to the public. So right now, we're trying to submit it to other film festivals next year. And so right now is just kind of putting together like how we're going to like present it, like submitting it other places, and going from there. But hopefully next time, like when we do like have it premiering, like we put it out there more and are more vocal about it, so people are able to do it, because it was a bit confusing on the website and like how to like access it, because we have two of them. It's two versions.
Yeah, we're trying to get it to other places. So right now, just having it out publicly isn't, you know, what we are actually allowed to do. So we're just trying to work. And yeah, like she said, we just thought one day like, oh man, we're doing, because the one that came out this year was actually the part 2. We did one last year as well. And so we're like, oh, we should do an Instagram. And it was like, okay. And then we were like, you know what, we need to be like a lot more, you know, vocal on it than what we actually were. So now, you know, we've been talking to more people and following more people. So next time around, hopefully it'll be easier. And like she said, it was hard. It was hard for my family to even like access it online. The first one was actually at a movie theater, so it was, you know, it was easy to just go and see it.
But yeah, like the goal like is to get it out there so people can see it, and get it to like medical centers and to like organizations like dealing with like diabetes, type 1 diabetes. That is like that goal. And like she said, we're trying to work together like to get it organized so that it is open to the public. But yeah, I'm excited. And just the feedback we received so far is just amazing. From like last year, people seeing it and, you know, just testing it out. Like Angel and I, like we just wanted to express ourselves, but like the feedback and like, wow, like this is your story. Like, you know, you should take this somewhere, like submit it other places. And then, you know, like during this pandemic and just having so much time on your hands, like just, you know, to do, you know, anything, do like pretty much anything right now. So like it was just so much time, and we worked together, did Zoom calls, and like we took notes and on how we wanted to do it, to how to reshoot it. And so like, you know, now you see like a difference in like the film, like towards the ending, especially, and like how we turned it into something showing like how we go through this, but we got it, kind of, sort of feel. And so yeah, it's I can't wait. It's like for everyone to see it though.
Yeah, I know what I don't remember if I found your page or if you guys found my page, but when I clicked on your page and I was like, wait, these are Black girls, they're diabetics, and they're filmmakers. I was like, okay, these are like my soul sisters. What the heck? So I definitely was really excited to see that, because like you guys said, like we need to continue to share our stories out there, especially, you know, especially within the JDRF, the type 1 realm, that there aren't people that look like us. So I'm really excited to watch you guys film whatever festival it's in, you know, maybe it'll be virtual, then you can watch it on the computer. So everybody out there, make sure you follow I Could Never Inject Myself on Instagram to keep up with any updates on this film. Ari, you want to tell us a little more about your products and projects that you're working on?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I have any products besides my site. But yeah, so I primarily, I guess at this point, am involved with speaking at different events and then also consulting with different organizations when it comes to incorporating the feedback of those living with diabetes and possibly the feedback of a Black woman. I received a grant earlier in the year from JDRF to work on a project that has been ongoing. It's called Diabetics on the Margin. And it initially started as a visual project with me and a couple of girlfriends talking about our experience with type 1, coupled with like some compelling images. And then I've interviewed a few people since then, and the hope was to continue to build on that and to continue to expand the photo series. And so that's what I was given the money for, but COVID has derailed that project because nobody's trying to meet in person for anything. So I'm kind of just sitting on that and hoping that in another few months, maybe springtime 2021, I can revamp that and get folks excited about possibly participating because I do feel that it is important to share the stories of folks of color with diabetes because that's not a part of the narrative. So yeah, other than that, folks, again, can find me at justlittle.sugar.com.
And I know, Kylie, you have the product. She got all the products, okay?
Eileen is making the money.
No, she is not making the money either. She's trying to make her 9 to 5 is what pays her. But no, I do. I have a store. Black Diabetic Girl has a store, and the purpose of the store was to bring awareness because, like, we all, joined online and we didn't see people that look like us. And so I made a shirt, and then from the t-shirt, it just kind of grew into other things. So they can visit blackdiabeticgirl.com, and I have all sorts of things there. Ariel. So Ariel and I did a self-care seminar, summit, conference of something. And people are asking me when we're going to do another one. So sister, we need to talk. We need to talk. Maybe we can hook them up for 2021.
2021, that's what I'm telling everybody.
Please let us know.
We can do it. Yes, but I'm just on. Well, no, I suck at Twitter. I'm old, y'all. I suck at Twitter. Okay, I have to. My younger sisters keep me on Twitter. I'm that friend that will read a tweet and then come back 4 days later to respond to you. So if you want to find me on Instagram, not Twitter. Diabetic Girls. We are also on Instagram, and we have a Facebook group. The purpose of that group was to give a safe space for women and caregivers to come, just to have that support group, that tribe, that person to talk to, regardless of how old you are, your race, what type of diabetes you have. That's what we're working on. Yeah, that's what I got going on.
Show us your shirt.
Yeah. Let's see the design. And you have I think you have masks too, right?
Yeah, I have masks. I have a Black Diabetic Girl mask. I have a mask that says, "You got this." I think I have a mask that says, "Diabetic Girls Do It Better." Those are like my 3 kind of popular things. Black Diabetic Girl and Diabetic Girls Do It Better are what you can find probably on anything. Masks, t-shirts, notebooks, sweatshirts, mugs, supply bags. I have a book bag. It's a lot of things. I guess it is a lot of things on there.
Like I said, she has the product. Okay.
I'm just trying to make sure that the Black girls and the females in general have something to rep for us.
Yes. And that's, I think that's all of us, here, and all of you guys are definitely doing your part in bringing the awareness, bringing the visibility to letting people see us and letting people, you know, learn more about it. Because I know probably if all of us, if we, when we were diagnosed, if we had someone, you know, that would have told us this or might have looked like us, you know, we would have had a better early on experience with dealing with this. So hopefully this video, along with all of the work that you guys are doing, will help somebody, at least one person out there that's watching. So what do you guys see for the future for type 1 diabetes, especially in women of color or people of color?
That's a good one. I think you'll see more of us because people are seeing us now. We are more I don't want to say we're more outspoken because I've personally always been outspoken, but I think that people are paying attention and they're realizing that this disease does not just affect white people, that Black people are affected by it. You know, diabetes doesn't have a color, you know, it's can knock on anyone's door. And so I think with 2020, the movement, different movements in 2020 has opened the doors for a lot of us. And people are realizing that we are here and we're not going anywhere because we can't go anywhere. And that they have to listen to what we have to say.
I mean, I think what Kylie said is probably something similar to what I would have said. Just the fact that I think because of the racial outcry and the rallying over Black lives that we've seen over the summer, and thinking about the disparate impact of COVID, I think in general, people within the diabetes community, leaders especially, have become more mindful of health disparities within diabetes outcomes. And so they are trying to be more intentional about highlighting BIPOC voices. And so my hope is that that is not a trend. And I think that the women here are a testament to the fact that it won't be a trend because they're invested in doing the work, and there's more than just the five of us who are trying to bring attention to these issues. So I am excited. I do think that the representation of us will increase. My hope is that we can get to a point where we're not just looking to BIPOC folk to talk about their experience as people of color, but that we believe that they have value to add to the diabetes community beyond that. So it just won't be like a panel about representation that we want folks to participate in, or a panel on health disparities, but that we would be seen as more like normalized, voices or figures within the community.
One of the big goals for the documentary is to inform, especially in the Black community, just a lot of assumptions and whatnot, just to really like let people know like what it is, like what this disease is and like what we deal with. And hopefully, you know, not even hopefully, I know that in the future, like people will have a better understanding of what we go through.
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all said. For sure, listening, hearing, like seeing us more, for sure, all of that, and just learning. You can look at us and learn so much. Like I was quiet until I came out to the diabetes community, and now I'm so much more open about it. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, someone else can be suffering through depression and going through the same thing I was going through. Maybe someone's having the same symptoms and they're not realizing that they're using the bathroom 100 times a day, you know what I'm saying? Maybe thinking it's normal. Or I know we, being women of color, people of color, period, we get pushed back a lot. You know, you not just going to the doctor just so they can tell you, oh, you just got a urinary tract infection, we're gonna give you this and go home. Like, no, something is wrong, fix it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for sure, I think people are gonna see us, hear us, and no, just learn more about it. Like Ina said, the assumptions are something that we get every day, all day, and you know, hoping that changes for sure. And we here, we living every day, and it is what it is.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You know, of course, we hope that no one else has to go through this, or no one else could be diagnosed with this. But unfortunately, the reality is that, you know, until there is a cure, there will be more people that do experience this. And there are people who maybe relate to Angel's story, where they didn't want to say anything, or they didn't have a community. Will hopefully be able to find one. There's lots of, with the thankfulness of the social media, you know, there's lots of ways to connect. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for all of these, you know, new insights. I hope that we can do this again, and we'll be looking forward to everything that you guys are doing. Please make sure that you follow everybody here. All of them give a very different perspective on type 1 diabetes. So definitely follow them, keep up with everything. And thank you guys one more time. Thank you, thank you. And that's it.
Thank you for having us. This was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was so fun. Thank you.